Dugtrio was first introduced in Generation 1, and then got some love with new forms in Generations 7 and 9, and has been subject to many a conspiracy theory over the years as to what Dugtrio looks like beneath the ground, but that's a video for another time. Dugtrio, 3 heads, 3 forms, and now in Pokemon Elite Redux, 3 ways to completely destroy your opponent. In the Elite Redux ROM hack, Dugtrio, Alolan Doug Trio, and Wugtrio all get brand new abilities, insane innate abilities, and actual build variety. Today we're diving deep into each one and figuring out which Dugtrio form reigns supreme. Cantonian Doug Trio has historically found a niche even in higher tiers in the past due to its decent speed and trapping capabilities thanks to Arena Trap, allowing it to function as a revenge killer and even in earlier generations as a sweeper. In Elite Redux, Doug Trio keeps the raw speed and power, but now it's a multi-hit sand demon with mix and match synergy depending on your team and playstyle. For your abilities that you can choose from, you can choose between Sand Rush, which gives you 50% extra speed in sand, Arena Trap, of course your classic trapper set, where grounded enemies cannot switch out, and then Earthbound, which essentially functions like a ground type Blaze, Overgrow, or Torrent. But it's boosted in Elite Redux where your ground type moves get a 20% boost normally and 50% at low HP. Now for your innate abilities, the abilities that are always active, you get multi-headed, where every move hits 3 times, your first hit hitting at 100% of its power, the second hit comes at 20% power, and then the third at 15%. This awesome ability allows you to hit ranges that you wouldn't otherwise hit with just the initial damage calculation, as well as breaking Sturdy and breaking Focus Sash. You also get Sand Force, which gives you 1.5 power to your highest offensive stat in Sand. And then you get Speed Force, where 20% of speed is added to contact move damage. This allows Dugtrio to synergize fantastically with a Focus Sash, which will allow you to live a hit and be put in range for some incredible Earthbound sweeps. You can go for Life Orb to amplify the multi-hit chaos from multi-headed, or of course you can just ramp up the ground damage by applying Soft Sand to buff Earthquake, Dig, High Horsepower, Fissure, you name it. If you want the OG speedster with explosive multi-hit damage, then Kanto Doug Trio's still got it. This time just crank to 11. Alolan Doug Trio always thought that it looked cooler. Well, it at least looks different. But it never historically peaked higher than PU or ZU since its debut a couple generations ago. It did find a little bit of a niche in these lower tiers thanks to its speed and typing combination, but now in Elite Redux it actually plays different. Pokemon Elite Redux gives it all the same abilities as Kanto Doug Trio, but with one major twist. As for your base abilities, you also get Sand Rush, just like Cantonian Doug Trio, a buff to speed and sand, as well as the traditional Arena Trap. But for your third choice instead of Earthbound, you can look at Steelworker, which effectively gives you a 30% buff to all steel type moves on top of your stab bonus. For your innates, they're the exact same as Cantonian Doug Trio, multi-headed, Sand Force, and Speed Force. Now, Alolan Doug Trio is slightly slower than Cantonian Doug Trio with a 110 speed as opposed to 120, but you get a lot of defensive value out of the steel typing, and Steelworker really expands those stab options dramatically, allowing you to hit fairy types for super effective damage, as well as rock types and ice types. Expert Belt can boost those super effective hits on those pesky fairies, but you can also give it Metal Coat to apply an additional 50% boost to your steel type moves on top of Steelworker and on top of Stab. You can of course also go for Choice Band, which you can pair with Steel Roller or Iron Head for 3 times damage burst thanks to that multi-headed. Alolan Doug Trio trades a little bit of speed for typing utility and surprise factor. It's great for punishing fairy types and flipping coverage matchups in your favor. Last but definitely not least, Wugtrio. Much like its brothers, it hasn't seen much play in the competitive higher tiers of Generation 9, and it doesn't even have Arena Trap to count on like its Dugtrio counterparts. In Elite Redux, it's still frail, it's still fast, but it now has tools that make it a slippery support attacker and awesome revenge killer. Its abilities look drastically different compared to its counterparts. You have Accelerate, which allows 2-turn moves to execute in 1 turn. That's right, that means you can now get off 1-turn dives. By the way, Dive is now a 110 base power instant water nuke. You also keep Rattled, which of course gives you +1 speed when hit by a bug, dark, or ghost move. Kind of a niche pick in my opinion. You also get Coward, which gives you a free protect on switch in once per battle, perfect to combat Wugtrio's frail nature. As for your innates, you also get access to Multi-Headed. You get Gooey, which contact hits reduce the attacker's speed. And then my favorite, you get Field Explorer, which now boosts all of those old HM meme moves like Dive, Strength, Surf, and Rock Climb by 50%, further buffing Dive's insane 110 base power damage. For your health items, you can of course slap on a Mystic Water to boost those powerful water moves like Dive and Wave Crash. You can also go for your traditional Focus Sash, or you can go for King's Rock, which with Multi-Headed will give you some flinch spam potential thanks to those multiple hits. Wugtrio now becomes your pivot with power. As said, Accelerate turns Dive into a 1-turn monster, while Coward gives you a free turn to scout, and Gooey ruins any physical attacker that is trying to outspeed you. Kanto still has the best straight up sweeper, but Alolan Doug Trio brings surprise stab power and tankier matchups due to its steel typing. As for Wugtrio, it's a tricky utility pick that turns those HM memes into serious weapons. Elite Redux gives Dugtrio real playability, 3 forms, multiple abilities, and some of the most fun multi-hit mechanics that you will see in any ROM hack. So my question for you is, which one would you choose?